Sorry, I got a kid trying to keep him quiet. It's just not working out. Okay. So if you get on there, it's assignment 9. Today we're going to start chapter 1, section 3. It's about algebraic expressions, and today we're just going to focus on modeling those. Okay. So it says, right, each has an algebraic expression. So there's a difference between an expression and an evaluate. So evaluate means you should have a numerical answer. So like 2 plus 2 evaluated would be 4. Okay. The algebraic expression would just be the 2 plus 2 part. Okay. So there's definitely a difference between evaluating and modeling. So modeling means write it out, and some of these you're going to need to do the vocabulary. Okay, so it says the quotient of a number and 2 is 31. Okay, so we need to, like, I don't know, the only word that comes to mind is like depict. Okay, quotient means divide. Okay, a number, whenever you see that, a number, that just means any number. Okay, so you can write that as a variable, you can use n, x, whatever number you want to say. So I'm going to say n for number, and then we have a number and 2 is, so is always means equals. Okay, so we have an equals 31. So, and you kind of got to do it in order. So the quotient of a number, which we called n, and, so that means the n is going to go on top. So you got n and 2 is 31. Okay, and this is your actual answer. Okay, so if we were going to read it, it says n divided by, or n quotient of 2 is 31. Okay?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
If we were to write it just the actual division sign, would you still count that as right?
Absolutely. So you could say n divided by 2 is 31. That's totally legit too. Okay. Okay, so the next one says a number, we know a number means n plus 6, so plus means addition, okay, is, that's equals 8. The quotient of 18 and 2. Okay, we know quotient means divide, so 18 and 2, you could say 18 divided by 2. There is no is, so there's no equals, and there's not another number. So this is exactly what you should have. Or you could say 18 over 2. Those are both accurate. Now, I know, I'm well aware that some of you guys are going to be tempted to say the answer is 9 and circle it. Don't do it, okay? So, and use your, I don't know, I don't want to say, like, smartness, but if these all look like this, then these all should look something similar, okay? If we don't have a one-digit answer, such as 9, then the rest of them shouldn't have a one-digit answer, okay? So kind of look at, when you're doing these on your own, what I did versus what you should do, okay? Twice a number is equal to 26. So twice a number, twice means 2, okay? Twice a number, and that really means multiply. So twice a number, so you could say 2 times n, or you could say 2n, or 2.n, any of those work, okay? Is means equals 26. So, and I wrote it out 3 different times. Any of these work. You don't need to write all 3. Any of these work. Okay, twice a number, twice means times 2. The product of n and 12. What does product mean?
Multiplication.
It means multiplication. Okay, so the product of n and 10. So that means n times 10. What about difference? What does difference mean?
Isn't that subtraction?
Yep, difference is subtraction. Half. What does half mean?
Divide.
Yeah, half means divide by 2. Okay, so, or multiply times 1/2. So when it says half of 12, it's really 12 divided by 2. Then you guys should be able to do the rest of those. Okay, the next section on here is same thing. It's modeling. And somewhere on the top of your paper, I want you to write some type of little note. Okay, so, and these are all going to be in the form of, help if I have my pen on, mx plus b. Okay, b is your initial, I spelled initial way wrong. Okay, initial value okay, and m is going to be, people call it your slope, but it's something that reoccurring, okay? It happens every single time, every single week, and you will kind of be able to tell after doing a couple of these. So, and it doesn't matter if you want to say b plus mx, that's totally fine too. So, I usually do, so Jenny had $130, so how much did she start with? 130, but she is spending $10 per week. So if you spend money, are you getting more or are you losing? Is it addition or subtraction?
Subtraction.
So it's going to be 10, she's spending 10 a week, so you can say W, you can say X, whatever worked for you. So we're going to say, so if I looked at week 1 or week 0 before she spent any money, and I put in 0 here, 10 times 0 is 0. 130 minus 0 is 130, which works out, right? We know that she started with $130 at week 1, okay? And we know after week 1 she would have spent $10, okay? And you guys can do that in your head. 130 minus 10 is 120. If you plugged in 1 here, okay, 10 times 1 is 10. 130 minus 10 is 120, okay? So don't make it harder than it needs to be. Let's look at the next one. So it says you had $150. So how much did you start with?
150.
150. So write them down piece by piece. But you are spending $2 each day. So if you're spending, is it going to be plus or minus?
Minus.
Minus $2 a day. Okay, you make $10 per hour. So, what is our starting value?
$10 per hour.
So, not really. At hour 0, do you have any money?
No.
No, you haven't worked any, okay? So, your starting value is going to be just 0. And if you make money, is it going to be addition or subtraction?
Addition.
Plus, and we make $10 per every hour. So we're going to say 10 times H, which really, without even doing anything with that, if you work 1 hour, how much money do you have?
10.
If you work 2 hours, how much money do you have?
20.
Yeah, so you guys know those things. It's just a matter of writing it. And if you plugged in 1 here, okay, if you worked 1 hour, it's going to end up working out to where 10 times 1 is 10 plus 0, okay, is 10. If you worked 5 hours, you know that you should have $50, right? So if you plug in 5 here for 5 hours, 5 times 10 is 50 plus 0 is still 50, okay? 17 says you have 2 pairs of shoes, or 12 pairs of shoes, but 2 pairs a month. It should say you buy. Okay, you buy 2 pairs a month. So, how many shoes do you start with?
12.
You start with 12, and if you buy them, is it going to be plus or minus? Huh?
Minus.
Kind of. Let's think about it. So, we know we have 12 pairs of shoes. If I go buy 2 more pairs of shoes, how many shoes do I have now?
14.
14. So, am I adding to my shoe pile, or am I subtracting?
You added.
Yeah, so...
Oh, you're talking about the shoes. I thought you were talking about how much money you got.
Yeah, I know. So, so you're adding 2 pairs of shoes per month. Okay, you lose $8 a day every day in 8-ball. So, how much money do you lose on day 0? So, have you played any 8-ball yet on day 0?
No.
No. So how much money do you lose on day 0?
No.
None, because you haven't played any. So your starting value is going to be 0, and you lose $8 every day. So is it going to be plus or minus?
Minus.
Minus, and we lose how much every day?
8.
$8 a day. Okay, and you can really write it negative 8D, but sometimes it's just better to like habitually say, okay, well, I started with this much, and then how much I lost. Let me read through some of these, make sure I don't need to do any of them. Okay, I don't want you to answer me, but I want you to look at 14 and think about it, okay? Your school lunch costs $1.25 per day. Write an algebraic expression that models the situation. So on day 0, we'll say it's a Sunday, okay? You haven't ate any lunch yet, so obviously your starting value is probably going to be 0. And then if it costs money, okay, $1.25 per day. So